In beautiful small-town America, the stars aligned in the historic mining town of Bonne Terre, Missouri. Space royalty, including NASA astronauts, a NASA flight director, a rocket builder, authors, educators, Mercury and Gemini spacecraft engineers and designers, the Grissom family, and hundreds of fans gathered for the Show Me Space grand opening of the Grissom Center.
We're honoring Gus Grissom, one of our American icons, and his sacrifice and this family's sacrifice for our nation. In the words of Gus, space exploration is worth the risk of life, and he found that out firsthand. We hope that you're honored by our effort, and we hope especially that your father is honored by our effort. 3, 2, 1, let her go. Very good. Round of applause. The Grissom Center is now officially open.
Gus was, of course, one of the early space pioneers. He was one of the original Mercury 7 astronauts. He was a cold warrior. We were trying to beat the Russians to the moon, and that's what Gus wanted to do, and he worked to the end of his life to get us there. But we ended up rising from the ashes, literally. Built a great space machine that took 24 human beings to the moon, and most importantly, brought them back. Earl has done a really good job of sort of compressing about 50 years of space history into one room. And you get to see these pieces of metal that were placed together in the right way, and they all had to work to get people to the moon and back.
It's really exciting for a community like this to have such a gem of scientific knowledge and space exploration. I got to see some hardware just like what I got to use in space, so it's pretty cool.
They're looking at the fruits of a lot of labor that various people put in a lot of hard work here.
I'm with a group of McDonald people called the Mercury 6. So we all got together and started coming down here to help Mr. Mullen expand his museum.
I did a lot of volunteer work. I came down here to the museum for the last 4 years. We've been working on almost every Saturday on the museum, and I think we've created a little jewel here for the city of Bonne Terre and for the region, and I hope people come and enjoy it.
The science that went into everything that's displayed there, what happened and how it happened, the presentation of everything he has in there. Read the plaques, they tell the story.
Well, they have a better appreciation of what went on in the earlier days of the space program.
The museum is a big part of Missouri history that people don't know about, that Mercury and Gemini started here. These engineers, they developed spaceflight before they knew what space was. So this really is the beginning of all of what NASA would become.
I'm just so appreciative of what Earl and the OMAC team has done. This is a place that can last for generations and hopefully will inspire a lot of young people to go into space and to go into the science, technology, engineering, and math classes that will inspire.
We watched the rocket launch off in the theater, and they had the little control center thing, and you could see as the rocket was leaving.
This will bring some enlightenment to the area. As an astronomy teacher, I try to bring the love of space to everybody. This museum should help do it.
You feel like you can reach out and touch them?
That continuing education, that's what we see this part of, is getting you actually to walk in and touch something that went to space.
In addition to touring the museum, the community got up close with the NASA astronauts. Linda Godwin shared her experience being a woman NASA astronaut.
I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do that, and I would choose to do it again. And it was fine being a woman there. I was not the first, so other people had broken that ground. And so I had all good experiences. I'm very happy that today we have more and more women in the space program, even more women flight directors, more women in management, as well as more women astronauts.
I think it's a great opportunity for the students so they can see that, especially since we have a majority of girls in our club, so they can see that women have a part in making this happen as well.
Colonel Jerry Ross, who holds the world record for the most launches, talks about his first.
The first time I launched into space, I thought I knew exactly what to expect, and yet about 15 seconds after liftoff, I caught myself thinking, Ross, what are you doing here? It was a very dynamic, a lot of vibration and noise and shaking, but it was something I came back for 6 more times, so it wasn't too bad.
Topping off the festivities, an all-star panel shared unforgettable NASA space exploration stories. The event attracted an outpouring of locals and tourists.
I thought it was beyond what I was expecting. I thought it'd be a very local event, but people coming from Pittsburgh and California, and the magnitude of the people, it surprised me how many people came for this grand opening.
After decades of working toward this monumental day, how was Space Museum owner Earl Mullins feeling?
You know what? I'm still a bit numb, but this has been an absolutely phenomenal day. Absolutely phenomenal day. I hope it is the start of something that will continue, in perpetuity.
I think Gus would have been very proud of this.